I know he's going to be super embarrassed and just totally not cool with me sharing his name and story on why this painting exists, but he's incredibly modest about all of that. But I just wanted to show my appreciation and a little tidbit on what this is about.
Welcome to my channel.
Today, I want to talk about this painting that's a part of my 2026 art collection. This one is super special to me and has a great story behind it, and it's basically why my collection is even possible. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the story behind this painting and how it fits into the collection as a whole, and what is my collection even about. Let's dive in. This painting is super dear to my heart, and it's probably one of my favorites, mainly because of the concept. It's also the only painting out of my collection that is not of my own personal hands. The hands that are illustrated here are of my boyfriend's hands. His name is Chris. But before I tell you more about Chris and the concept behind this painting, I want to tell you how I made it. So it's quite simple. All I did was take a panel board that I got that had nothing on it, I put some gesso, and then I put the clayboard recipe that I have on top. Everything is basically from scratch except for making the panel itself. And then once all that cured for about, 2 weeks, then I was able to actually put some watercolor on top of that. Now, in order to get the actual hands and him modeling, I did not want to go through him trying to just like do everything one at a time. That would have been a fiasco. So instead of asking him to pose each hand gesture and for me to take a photo, which would have been probably so annoying for both of us, I just asked him to do the motion over and over, like only 2 times, and I took a video of it. Then I took the video and I made some still frames and I used that as my references for this painting. From there, I just did the watercolor on top of the panel board and I did this rainbow in about 2 swoops and then we were done. This has a very minimal layers of water on here because I wanted it to look really soft and watery and kind of dreamlike. There are some details that you might not be able to see from the camera, but I will give you a close-up look. There are some water splotches and some of them were accidental, but I went ahead and saved them and added to them because I loved how the texture was looking. And then I have some graphite that's on here and it's of some pencil writing that is backwards because I put it on tracing paper and then I pressed it onto the board because I didn't want it to be super legible, but I still wanted it to aid to the story and the concept of this painting. All of these writings have something to do with my financial records. I know putting math and some personal info like that on a painting is a little sketch, but don't worry, I didn't put my credit card on here, so you can't buy anything. Sorry. Now let's talk about the concept and why this painting is one of my favorites. I call this piece paying it forward. My boyfriend Chris is one of the most generous people I have ever met. He is generous with no strings attached. He is so pure-hearted that I was motivated to do a painting in his honor. His generosity to me and giving me some freedom and some space, out of his generosity, I was able to make this whole series. I was able to have the room for my mind and myself to express and to have some peace. And he did it all with no expectation of what I was going to do with myself and what to make out of painting. He had no idea that I was going to do a collection or even a painting in honor of him. That's kind of the beauty about giving, and that's what this painting is all about. When you give without an expectation, it naturally inspires people to also give. And that's the idea of paying it forward. There's something really cool about the concept of just giving. Your giving is a blessing to someone else and it's a blessing to you. It's twofold. It's like one of the few things that we can do in life that is mutual and beneficial to both parties at the same time. And the reason why I did a rainbow is for the obvious of just like, there is money at the end of the rainbow, and that's why my financial records are on there. The other concept that I have with the rainbow, even though God made the promise of not destroying the earth with a rainbow, I take it to heart of just a promise of not being destroyed in general. Like there is another tomorrow that's going to come, and that to me is symbolized in the rainbow. So of course, let's just go over the hand motion one more time. You have a giving And you have to take it on as your responsibility and then into paying it forward. You have to release it. And that's just the beauty of giving. How this fits into my 2026 art collection is that my collection overall is kind of my thought process of the last couple of years that I've had of just the pillars of life. We're talking about some deep questions here on like the concept of time. What does time mean and how does it play into my life? Generational traumas or future or legacy. How do I think and process things? I was going through a lot, and so this painting is just kind of my hopefulness of being able to pay it forward, accepting the gift and wanting to do the same. So I made a collection of paintings. So this painting just kind of sits right in the middle of it all on just the blessing I've received in the whole journey. I know he's gonna be super embarrassed and just totally not cool with me sharing his name and story on why this painting exists, but he's incredibly modest about all of that. But I just wanted to show my appreciation and a little tidbit on what this is about. I do plan to, despite his protests, to share more details of this story and more why behind the what on my Substack. I'm launching my Substack, so if you want to follow me and get more details on everything, then please subscribe there. And of course, there's going to be more paintings, so follow along and we'll be buds.
Thank you for watching.